Major breaking news out of London. Buckingham Palace announcing Harry and Meghan will no longer formally represent the Queen. That means they will no longer receive public funds and they will stop using their royal titles. Those changes will take effect this spring.
We knew it was coming. We knew Harry and Meghan were negotiating their way out. But when the announcement came tonight, it felt like a much more abrupt ending than many had expected. They might be part of the family, but they will no longer receive public funds for royal duties. Consequently, they will no longer use their HRH titles, but they will retain them. He will be called Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and she, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. And where this photo was taken of Archie on their family break at the end of last year, this is when they made up their minds to leave.
He wants to make her happy, and she obviously wasn't happy. We didn't quite realise how much.
As the majority of their time will be spent out of the UK, they will start paying rent and upkeep for Frogmore Cottage in Windsor. It will remain their official UK residence and they will repay at least £2.4 million back, which was spent on last year's redevelopment work. Is the decision to relinquish all his current military titles, and that includes a very personal one. Harry was handed the position of Captain General of the Royal Marines from his grandfather, the Duke of Edinburgh, when he retired from duties. Prince Philip had been in that role since 1953.
People have been debating this whole trade-off between being part royal, part celebrity, part in, part out. What this really is saying that they are out, effectively. They are, of course, members of the family, but they're no longer members of the firm.
But 2 years after a wedding which heralded the start of something new for the monarchy, tonight it felt very much like a hard break from the royal family for this particular prince.
Hey, I was just talking to Amy and I nabbed her for 5 minutes to make this video, or however long we go on, a few minutes, whatever. Amy, sudden shock, they are actually vacating, so there's no, the negotiations are over and Harry and Meghan are not going to be prince, well, he's not going to be a prince anymore, and that woman in that interview I played to you, she said they're leaving the firm. What do you make of all that then?
Well, I don't know. I think that I thought they had everything worked out yesterday, but I guess they're leaving after all. But
yeah, you know, the other day we got told they're in negotiations and this needs further talks, which they made it sound like might take a couple of months. And then within like 48 hours, we've been told no, it's done. They're leaving.
Yes, I was very surprised. I think.
Do you think it's just more hype though, Amy? You know what I mean? Like, that's what they fed us. They fed us all this news.
True.
It brings people, oh my, you know, like, more people are going to watch the news now. Oh my God, Harry and Meghan are leaving.
Yes, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. I don't know what the reason is as to why they want to leave. I guess people have their own speculations about it. But
well,
I think
you know, often the lady person, usually the husband lives around her family. Usually, doesn't it? So you know what I mean? And her family's not here, but it's quite. I think, you know, like, I know we had Edward and Wallace. You know, we had that, and I was watching some stuff about that the other day, but it does seem like very strange. Like, I don't know. Is it that they realise everybody's waking up and they think we need to get out of here before it collapses on us?
yes, that's what makes sense to me.
Because it's really weird. I don't mean to listen. Sorry, Amy, I'm cutting in there, but I don't mean to be big-headed or anything. But the Unscrambled channel just put a few videos out about them, showing that they're you know, like they're deep faked in and so forth and so forth. I've even done one about Harry and the baby. They weren't walking on that carpet through that building, and now they're leaving.
Yes. Yeah, it sounds pretty suspicious to me. I think they went out of whatever, you know, whatever they're involved in, whatever corruption or whatever is going on, they probably realize that people are waking up and they don't want to be a part of it anymore. That's kind of my opinion about it.
Yeah, because we're in this horrible place, aren't we, where nearly everything we're given is a lie and there is nowhere to go.
I know.
You know, Amy's been trying to write to the president, and he's like, well, all they could put down was they're glad they're going to be building the wall, as if that's going to sort everything, out and make everything magically better. You know, and like I wrote, I didn't even get a reply.
Right.
I mean, and you can't go and report it to the other places you want to because they're all part of it.
Yes, they're all part of it. It's terrible. So
it's like we're going, hello, we can see that something wrong with NASA, we can see there's something wrong, hello, and everybody just keeps going, and as if none of us, you know, and actually I just think, sorry Amy, especially in America, I just think it's getting worse, isn't it? It's almost like a horror movie turning on to watch the news or anything like that, isn't it? Like,
it really is. I can't tell you the last time I watched any news. I wouldn't know if they were getting ready to bomb us because I have not watched the news in so long. Just the little bits I see on YouTube or whatever, you know, little headlines and stuff, but I don't watch it anymore because I don't know what to believe.
But I bet your life's better for not watching it, yeah?
Yeah, I think it is. It's much less stressful for one thing, I find. You know, sometimes we used to watch news all the time with my dad, especially when he was ill, and after a while it was like we just got to turn it off. We can't keep listening to it all day long. It was crazy after a while. So yeah, it's very stressful after a while.
Yeah, you need a break from the news. But you know, something else that was I appreciate that there's a few people that put comments in, especially about the one with Kate and the missing nose, that probably the carriage actually went through there with nobody in it and they've been superimposed in. That makes so much sense because I was working out how have they done this? Like, why should, you know, to have that, you know, to defend, I think, you know, if you believe in queens and kings and things like that, then you're defacing a future queen like that. Why?
Exactly, that's right.
And then it was our news.
Yes, it was the news.
But you see, you mean to tell me that these people, Harry and Meghan, don't know that this is going on?
Oh, I know. How could they not know that is going on? I mean, that just looked terrible.
It was a bit weird that woman said, I repeat, she said, and Harry and Meghan are leaving the firm. Oh, not leaving the royalty. No, leaving the firm. Yeah. So what it is people are not listening to the words they're being told. So what do you reckon that means then? That sounds like, well, not quite the mafia or something, but the firm sounds like something, well, they're actually leaving it.
Yeah, like the firm. It reminds me of like a business.
Yeah, not a family.
Right, yeah.
Well, no, they will still be part of the family. They did say that, but they're leaving the firm.
Yeah, that reminds me of that movie, The Firm, that was all about Tom Cruise was in that movie, and it was all about these crooked lawyers that were representing all these mafia people, and they called it The Firm, and it just reminds me like of a sinister, like, you know, organization.
Yeah. Do you know what it is, Amy? Over here, we know sometimes they on the chat shows during the day, they'll say we're just speaking to the editor or the writer of, say, Emmerdale Farm. So basically what it is it's not Emmerdale Farm, it's Harry and Meghan, but it's the same thing. Right, we're writing them out of the series now.
Oh.
Well, it is, isn't it? They've been written out of the series.
That's it. Wrote them out of the series. That's it.
We've been going for about 7 minutes now. It's a bit hard. I don't want them too long because obviously I want people to watch them. We go on too long. But just before we finish this bit of hangout, like, well, for this video, what's your thoughts then about it all? Have you got any different thoughts now we've talked?
No, I still think that our original theory is correct, that Harry and Meghan just don't want to be part of the corruption and the system and all the just all the corruption that's going on, and they probably realize a lot of the fake stuff that takes place, and things that are not true.
It can't be because of like some of it is like security, because going to live in Canada and America and relinquishing those titles, like being Prince, that is anyway. He then won't be able to get the protection.
That's right.
Well, he'll be on a like if you're the king or the president or something like that, you've got a high, the police, you'll be escorted, the whole thing. He won't get any of that.
That's right.
Or he'll have to pay for it.
That's right. Yeah, like we have Secret Service over here that protects the president everywhere he goes, and I guess they protect other like Congress people and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I never even thought of that. He won't have that Secret Service protection. So, yeah, it's very strange.
Well, the world can't be a bad place to live in then, can it?
That's right. If they're able to go off and not have their protection, then it must not be so bad, right?
Yeah, but they must also be doing this because they obviously know that people like you and me aren't watching the news anymore. I'm only watching it to show Unscrambled or whoever, we're talking about it. So they want people to look. Now, when I looked at where I sort of was researching a bit, this had like 260,000 views. It was like 24 hours old, so it gets the people back in watching something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it gets them watching something again.
Because you know what? If they were in the firm, even if they are publicly leaving it, I bet they can't say anything or do anything.
That's what I would think too. They won't be able to say anything. They got to keep everything very hush-hush, keep it secret.
Yeah.
Can't say anything. That's right. Yeah, it is very strange. What are they saying in England? Like,
I don't know, because what it was is when I last caught a little bit of the news, because obviously I was keeping a bit on Harry and Meghan. I thought I don't really want to watch the news, but I only saw that in my feed. That's why I got into it. The last time was like there was going to be a period of time of everybody talking, but there wasn't. It's like within 24, 48 hours, now it's decided they're going.
Yeah. Because the last thing I saw, it said something like Megxit is...
Megxit?
they call it Megxit, yeah, instead of Brexit.
Oh my God.
Megxit will not be happening or something like that. They have negotiated and it's all going to stay the same. They're not going anywhere. That's the last thing I saw. But now it's changed again, so... I don't know. It's just crazy stuff. But it might be also just to get people interested, because I guess people are interested in the royal family, especially I would imagine in the UK. There might be a lot of following of the royal family.
Well, a lot of people will say, of course we knew it was something like the firm. But when the press are actually saying it, you have to really listen to what people are saying. I already said this. Quite often, they want to bring you in on one thing to tell you something else. Just when you get there on deepfake, you're being told we're going to war. So it's that kind of thing. But Amy, we've been going for 11 minutes now.
Okay.
So we could go on forever, couldn't we?
I know.
Yeah. Sorry, have you finished your final thoughts then? Just asking.
Yeah, I just think it's very suspicious, and I think that there's more to it than just wanting to move to Canada. I think they're trying to get away from the firm or from a lot of the very corrupt things.
Very quickly, you know what? Like I said, in a way, even if that footage was doctored with Kate, they're supposed to be giving each other eye contact. Very quickly before we go, what's your feeling? Do you think Harry and William are arguing, or do you just think that's more newspaper and media?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Part of me thinks it's just more publicity, like a publicity stunt, to make it more dramatic. Then part of me thinks it could be true. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know, because when I was making my video, yeah, they were talking to each other, but then when her nose disappeared, it's like, well, she's superimposed in, so
Right.
It's always like a duality all the time. Since we've put that video out about duality, all I see is duality all the time in everything that they do.
Yes.
So you could make a couple of answers up about it because of this duality, but it's like,
I know.
I tell you, I'm getting a bit upset. My NASA video, they cut the end off, and then the Amber Lines one, that's still on yellow. They're still reviewing that, and people are looking at it because the number's going up. And then but then last time they didn't let it through. And the thing is, you think why? Because I bet they didn't do that to RT News.
I know. I bet not. That's right.
Anyway, those are other not stories. There are other issues, aren't they? Amy, I thank you very much for joining me just to talk about this. So, a lot of drama, a lot of getting people. But people, do you know what it is? Maybe they are telling us quite a lot of the truth, but because people don't come in it that way, because it's a bit like that cognitive engineering. If you're told. Say Amy lived in Germany, but actually she lives in America. I'm always going to believe she lives in... Do you know what I mean? They make you change your mind. So
exactly.
So when you hit the news, if your mind has already been made up and you don't realise you're programmed, you're always going to get a different outcome out of what you're seeing. Do you see what I mean?
That's right.
So it's a bit like... I think you just have to find those people who you can trust and get along with and can communicate with. And one of the latest videos on Unscrambled, love. Remember to open your hearts and love.
Yes. Yes, that's so important. You just put that one out, Karen?
Yeah, it's not mine. It's oh my goodness, his name's just gone out of me. His channel name. It's gone out of my brain.
Okay.
That nice young American. I can't look it up. It's gone out of my brain. I've actually pinned it on the channel. Yeah, his name's Rough Logic.
Okay.
That's who it was. But Amy, again, we've been see, we could go on and on, but I was just a bit shocked. I was just a bit shocked that after going to have a break and think about it and talk about it, which, yawn, but first thing I see on the news is, it's like something's died with regret, with,
yeah.
Can you imagine, they're doing it to us, they've planned all this, part of the script, which they've just written Harry and Meghan out, and,
yes.
It's crazy.
I know. It really is. Just so crazy.
The Unscrambled channel tries to unscramble it as best as possible.
Yes.
Much love, Amy. Thank you for helping me on
this. Much love to you too, Karen. Thank you
so
much.
Much channel. Thanks for watching.
Oh, thank you.